Okay, we are live. Hello, everybody. It's Jennifer Allen, the owner of Just Elope, and welcome to Midweek Matrimony. Today, my guests are Tia and Danielle Davis. Thank y'all for being here.
Of course.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
We are so excited to learn about the two of you. For anybody that's just tuning in and this is their first time experience our Midweek Matrimony, we are interviewing couples all month long to learn more about their love stories. February is the month of love, and so we want to celebrate it as much as we possibly can. And if this segment goes well, this is something that we will continue to do beyond February. But today we are going to focus in on this love story. So I have to know, how did the two of you meet?
We met at work. So I moved to Texas from Virginia about 4 years ago. And the first year I was kind of getting, so you worked at the techno bar.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I saw Danielle around, but I was traveling and such. So I say about a year later is when we really started to get to know each other better as friends. As we both led the Black Employee Network at our job.
Mm-hmm.
Was it love at first sight?
I thought she was attractive. Trying to say that as classy as possible.
That she was fine. You seen her.
Yeah, she could dress and everything, and but of course, I don't naturally think that she's gay. Or swings my way. So, but we had an interaction. I had to fix something for her. Or no, I didn't even have to fix it. You were trying to pay for something, a headset.
I was trying to buy a headset,
and it took her like 45 minutes.
On purpose.
You are exaggerating.
It was like 45 minutes. We were there for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And
Tia, were you flirting? Was that your way of flirting?
I don't think I flirt well. I was truly getting frustrated with this, and she was like walking around fixing stuff. So she was entertained by my frustration.
It was a lot of laughing. I don't think it was like actual flirting. It was just like a lot of laughing. And then I think from then I didn't really see you that much.
Yeah, because I was traveling.
And then, so I was the leader of the network, but I didn't have, and I had another one of our closest friends had joined, and she came to one of our first events as me as the leader. And she was like, she started giving suggestions about what we should do, like social media. And I was like, oh, well, you could just be the marketing manager then. You could just be over that. And she was like, oh, okay. And then it was kind of went from there.
Yeah, so our leadership team clicked really well. Jordan Eldridge, he wanted me to mention his name. Jordan Eldridge.
I'm sick of him.
But we all became really good friends and were able to hang out after work as well. We went to happy hours, brunch, and such.
It was like a Black History boot camp.
Okay.
So like we did all the stuff for Black History Month, so we were spending a lot of time together.
Yeah.
And then Jordan's birthday is March 1st, and then her birthday is April 1st. So that, and then I think her cousin came. It was just 3 months of basically us just like hanging out, getting to know each other, getting drunk, like just just a lot stuff I can't imagine doing right now. Yeah, just a lot of hanging out and a lot of getting to know each other, and that's kind of how.
So you said that when you first saw her, you did not know that she also that she liked women. At what point did you figure that part out to be like, oh, okay, I like her, and she could possibly like me too?
It was during Black History. It was during us going out, I think. Just you kind of get a vibe from certain, specifically women, like who are not completely closed off.
Okay.
So she wasn't like declaring like, oh, I'm just interested like that, but she wasn't against it. She never said anything that was like, no, I would never do that. And then I think we'd had certain conversations that was kind of like, she just was like, yeah, maybe I'd do that or something like.
I just love love.
So. Okay. Right. But yeah, it made me realize, I was like, okay, she's not completely close. And then when the sparks hit and stuff, and I felt we had that energy towards each other, I was like, okay, it doesn't matter that I'm not a guy. So yeah.
Okay. So T, you said that you love. So technically, if she was a man and you felt that same way, would things have progressed the same?
Yeah, it was a really good connection that we had. The first thing was the friendship that was established. Like everything came so naturally. Just was able to open up pretty quickly. And Danielle just has a way of making me feel comfortable, which is great, and letting me be my true self. It was difficult moving out here because I don't have any family. I just had coworkers that I knew. So being able to find that connection with that friend group was really important. It helped me stay here in Texas. I don't think if I was able to find that here, I would have stayed as long as I have.
Good, because Texas is the best. So.
Okay. Don't talk about your Texas cult. I can't.
Get the most for your money out here. I mean, that is something.
True, very true.
So.
Yes. Yeah.
Where you come from, you can definitely get the most house here. So with that being said, what is it that you think makes your love story unique compared to all the love stories in the world? What makes your story unique?
What makes our story unique?
I looked at that question all day. I don't know if it's something that makes it unique, and I think that's a good thing.
So let's pose it a different way.
Okay.
What makes this love different from any other you've ever experienced?
Oh, wow.
Okay, so I'll answer first. So for me, it has been the timing worked out perfectly when we started connecting because I was working on me. I had given up dating. Like it was like online dating is the worst. It is just awful. And I, was like, I'm done with this. I'm just going to be me, work on me. And I was going to therapy on a regular basis and learning to be more in tune with myself and who I wanted to be and working on being vulnerable. So this is the first relationship that I've had where I'm not concerned about what I can do to make sure Danielle's okay. Like I'm making sure that, hey, am I good? And are my needs met? And then it's like, okay, is Danielle good? So I've been able to open up and truly express who I am and feel comfortable in who I am. And I think that made not putting any pressure on the relationship. I would say we dated for a while before we were technically exclusive.
Did we?
Really?
No,
yes.
we did date, but there was this whole conversation about like dating and exclusivity and all that. But I think how loving her is different and being in a relationship with her. I've been in the typical like lesbian, like get a U-Haul, move in, be together for 200 years, and so in the past, like that's the typical MO for me. But I think how it's different with her is it comes very easy. It's not a lot of work compared to my previous relationships. I feel she pushes me to be vulnerable, and I don't feel so weird about it most times. And that could be therapy as well. So
therapy. I'm definitely a huge fan of it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I think that would be the thing that sets her apart as far as just being in a relationship, and it was all very easy and it seemed fast, but it didn't seem overwhelming. Yeah, it's just, I guess easy is the best word. The same way of how we met and how we connected. It's just really easy.
Yep.
It's not a lot of work.
That timing is so important was her comment. And that is very true because it takes a lot for a relationship to come together. And by that, I mean, everybody's at a different phase of their life. So to meet somebody and both of your personal lives and the timing of your wants and desires to line up, it is truly divine timing, because you have one person who is ready to be in a relationship, ready to commit, but you have somebody else that's still lingering over here, trying to figure out, what. And when the timing is right, it does make things flow a whole lot easier. It does make them a whole lot better. When I met my husband, we both were just in the same place of wanted a relationship. And because of that, that made everything flow so naturally. So we only dated for a year and a half before we got married. And so we've been married for 10 years now. 10 years, 2.5 kids. And
2.5.
we've been here, and so it's like it just worked because we wanted it at the same time. And I think that you two coming together when you did was really good. I've heard some horrible online dating stories.
Oh, it's all. If you want another segment about on my dating, please let me speak on that.
I don't have the story so much.
It is.
No.
We'll circle back to that.
It's trash. Yeah, it's trash.
With that being said, even when you're dating, we all go through things. What is one thing that you would have done differently during your dating phase with each other?
I think for me, it probably just would have been maybe dating a little longer, just because I really enjoy that phase of things. Before we moved in with each other. Not that it was a bad thing or anything. I just enjoy that phase of like, and I have a whole hypothesis about like taking on a date and being able to leave my house and go to her house and pick her up. Whereas now it's like, all right, you ready? You down the hallway? Like we getting ready in the same bathroom, like stuff like that. So I think that would probably be the only thing really we really actually dated. I would say she's probably the first relationship I really actually dated her. All my previous I may have dated maybe like I said, typical lesbian, grab a U-Haul a month, we're moving in with each other. So she was the first I really took the time to date, but I feel like we probably could have did that a little longer. It just would have been funner. That's all.
What about you, Tia?
I don't think I would change anything. I think there was, because we were friends first, while we did go on some dates, it wasn't like maybe formal date. Like it feels like we skipped a phase, but I don't miss it, but I think I would have enjoyed that part of it. So, but everything else is great.
Yeah.
Chelsea Washington said that she met her husband online. Chelsea, I did too. I met my husband on MySpace. And for years, we told people that we met at Walmart because it just seemed creepy. We met on MySpace. Like if we had met on Facebook, that would have been one thing. But the fact that we met on MySpace, it just kind of made it weird. And so on our first date, like we went to dinner and a movie, and I had to go to Walmart to get like lunch for the week, and he came with me. So we just rolled that into our story.
That's so cute though.
We met at Walmart, and then I started to realize, why are we lying about this? Like this is so.
But it's like two things you could do with a person to know that you like them. One is go on a road trip. So if you can go on a road trip with a person and have fun, a long one, and then go to like doing regular stuff, like going to the grocery store, stuff like that. Like if you still have fun.
Yes.
Then that might be a good sign. So that might have been a good date going to Walmart.
It was. I'm like, let me just grab my couple of things, and he offered to pay. I'm like, now I should have got lunch for 2 weeks if I would have known.
I would have known. You told me at first.
This when we got to the counter, but it's fine. Okay. How do you keep the romance alive when you feel yourself falling into a rut? Because, we all kind of dating, being married, you fall into a routine. And it's so easy to go with the day-to-day How was your day? What did you do? Okay, I'm about to take a shower. Let's put on the show. We're going to sit on the couch. Somebody's going to fall asleep.
Yes.
I think getting out of your head for me personally, because that has happened. Like I said, that it, just being in a relationship for a long period of time, you get in your head and you think, oh, I should do this and I should do that, and then you don't do it just because maybe it's not a special occasion, but you kind of have to realize you don't need a special occasion to do something, and it don't always. For me, I'm a big, I guess, chivalrous, like, big date. I'm gonna pay for this. We're gonna do this, and I always want to go big. And a lot of times I have to realize, especially with her, I don't have to go big. It could be little stuff. It seemed little to me, and I'll be like, "This is nothing," but she be really appreciating it. So, like, if I bring home her favorite
Red
popcorn,
vines.
red vines, and all that stuff, just her favorite snacks, or just little thoughtful things versus doing this grandiose thing, which is what I like to do. It's like grandiose, like, let's go out on the town, get a pet sitter, do whatever. Especially in the middle of a panoramic.
Yeah, that panoramic will get you.
Yeah. Being in the middle of like this weekend, I've had to get creative. This upcoming weekend for Valentine's Day and figuring out
What do you have planned?
I don't nothing at all. Nothing at all. But just being creative because we in the house and we can't be outdoors like I would like us to be. So you just got to get out your head is the main answer, because most people when I hear people say I haven't done this, just go do something. Just do something, and once you do something, then you good.
Katie Anderson said the little things add up, and that's so true.
Yes,
because small gestures along the way make things so much better, because you are not living a life where you're waiting for a special occasion.
Yeah.
Any little thing can be important, because we all have this expectation, of course, that we're going to make it to Valentine's and birthdays and Christmas and that sort of thing. But the reality is you just never know. And so it is important to just take those little steps and bring those red vines home when you can. Tia, what about you? What's something that you feel like when you notice you all getting into a rut that you like to do?
We do like to do, I call them pulse checks, just to, nothing formal, but just to see if we checking in to see how each other are doing. And that's been throughout our relationship, not just since we got married or engaged. And it helps to know how the other person is feeling, how she's feeling about what's going on. Like, hey, it's, I feel like we're just getting stuck in the same things, or I'm just doing that. So it helps to keep the conversation happening. And I would say, breaking out some tricks that you didn't, you got to keep it spicy.
Oh, man.
Whatever those tricks may be.
And wait, so one thing that we did not discuss was, how did your proposal go?
Oh my God. So stressful. So I knew again, typical lesbian fashion for me anyway. We moved in before we moved in together. That was our first time. Buying this house was the first time us living together.
That was August 2019.
Yes. So and at that point we had been together.
We moved in together. We had been together probably a year and a half.
A year and a half?
Yeah.
Okay. Time is a construct. I don't
know
anymore. But I at a certain point, and honestly, Jordan could probably chime in and tell you when I texted him, because I was like, so we made our connection at Gloria's. And that's when I kind of realized like she really liked me and I like her and all that good stuff. So what I was gonna do, the plan was to recreate that moment. So I and Jordan was there with us. So I texted him I was like, he travels a lot. He was traveling a lot for work, and he travels a lot, just period. Or he used to before the panoramic. Yeah. So I texted him. I was like, hey, on this date, you need to be here. You need to like get your stuff together. Like, this is happening. So I plan this. I start looking for the ring. I sent Jordan this ring. I was thinking about getting her to see if she would like it, and it was really ugly, and she didn't like it. And I'm so glad I did that because she didn't know it was for me. He made it seem like it was for somebody else.
Yes, he was like, check this out. And I talked about that ring so bad. Like, I felt horrible. It had leaves on it. I was like, why would this person get this? Like, what does this mean?
So he called me up and was like, do not get that ring. And I was like, all right,
put that back.
So I get the ring. I have it like a lot of thought, plan this whole thing, get her nails done because I can't propose to her. And then maybe a few weeks before I was going to propose to her, we end up in a panoramic. Like
2 weeks.
Gloria's is shut down. We can't sit in there. Like, oh my God. So I was angry. I was grumpy, trying to figure out how I was going to propose to her. So what ended up happening is I rounded up the troops. I ended up driving to one of our other friends came and did her nails at the house. I drove to Gloria's, picked up food, what we would have had if we were there. Went to Margaritaville, picked up Gloria's fake Gloria's swirl margarita because at the time you couldn't buy alcohol and leave with it. They hadn't enacted that law yet.
Popping now though.
Yeah, it's not going back either. I don't think after everything's done, I think we'll be having alcohol to go. But I got all that stuff, and it was her birthday, or we were making it like her birthday celebration. So she wasn't under any guise other than okay, it's just my birthday celebration. So we're there, and I don't know how I pictured doing it. But she had pulled out the camera and Jordan and our other friend had pulled out the cameras, and I was just like, I'm just gonna do this now. My nerves were wrecked. And so yeah, I just proposed and she freaked out and she cussed, which she doesn't cuss a lot, so that was great.
Yeah, it was because it was during the time, it was when everyone was doing see a drink, take a drink on the timeline. So like I had the margarita in my hand. And so I went to like, see a drink, take a drink. And next thing I know, you're down on your knee. I was like, what is going on?
Oh my God.
What is this?
Shocker.
Yes. Yeah. Like we had talked about getting married and there being a proposal, but I had no clue. I just knew she was grumpy the week before. And I was like, you good? Like, is everything okay? No. And I can't tell you or something. I was like, all right, girl.
I was grumpy for like a whole week trying to put everything together. Because then I was like, okay, I can get her nails done. So I try to get her into a place to get her nails done before they shut down the nail shops. Nope, couldn't do that. And I'm like, oh my God, I have to get a haircut. Luckily, my barber had his own little suite. So I was able to get in right before, but it was very stressful.
And Brittany was over. She came. She's like, "I'll do your nails for your birthday." I was like, "Oh, okay, that's great." So she's doing my nails. She's like, "So what are you gonna wear tonight?" And I'm like, "Why? We're in a pandemic. Like, y'all are just here. Why does it matter?" Well, you know. Then I'm like, "All right, yeah, I'll look for something." Like I didn't understand why she wanted me to like do my makeup and put a dress. I'm like, it's just here, right? We're just gonna be here. So, but knowing that we would take pictures or whatever. So I appreciate
it was super stressful. It was because I had this whole plan that I had planned for almost a year and it fell apart in a matter of weeks. And then I had those same amount of weeks to put something else together. So it was
the pandemic panorama has caused life to change very, very quickly. During that time frame, we had we were finally renewing our vows. We've been married for 10 years in last July, and we went to City Hall and got married. And so going to City Hall to get married is what sparked the idea of us even starting Just Elope. And so we didn't want other couples to have for that to be their only option, because at the time something small, quick that we put together was not an option for us in 2010. And so that's what led to all of this. So it was finally going to be our turn. We were going to Cancun. We were going to have this big vow renewal. We had invited all of our friends. It was going to be great. I was having a bridal shower because I'd never had one of those. So like my girls had already planned that. It was all the things. Well, unfortunately, on February the 28th, my husband's grandmother passed. And so, which meant that we had her funeral. Well, her funeral ended up being the same weekend as the bachelor, as my bridal shower. So we pushed it back to the next week. Well, by the time the next week came, everything had already started to shut down.
Mm-hmm.
And so that never happened. And then literally 3 weeks later, Southwest sent us an email saying, your flight to Cancun is canceled.
Oh, wow.
We're done with you.
Yeah, that sucks.
And so we had to, of course, cancel the vow renewal, not knowing, everything that was going to come. And so I definitely feel you on, you have all these expectations and you want to plan things, and then something happens that just changes the trajectory of how things move forward. But you still got engaged. You still got married. You still bought a house.
Yeah.
All those things still happened, and it worked.
Yeah. Yeah. No, being in a panoramic is the best honeymoon, because if we've been together, we've been looking at each other's face like almost 24 hours a day for almost a year now. And I'm not tired of her face. I hope she's not tired of mine.
No, I feel like that's how because everything was expert. We moved in together August. 6 months later, it's a pandemic, panoramic, panini, and
Panera.
Panera bread.
And so it's like it full force was, we truly know we like each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like we really enjoy each other's company. I think having that friendship effort, because we can be silly with each other, because you have to make each other laugh when you can't go anywhere.
Exactly. Please.
That's true.
Yeah,
we are definitely, it has been interesting. This is the most time, of course, for most people have spent together. We have our two boys, and so that definitely has made for interesting times just as a family. And I'm like, you know what? Okay, I like y'all.
I like y'all.
It's important. The like part is very important.
It's very important. Yeah, you can love your family, but you don't like your family.
Yes.
And I learned that a long time ago, that you really have to not just love the person you with, because I'll love her forever. But if I stop liking her for any point in time, then we might have a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? Some days you may not like each other, and that's okay. Some days I don't like myself. Sometimes I'll be over myself. I'm like, girl, get your life together. You got a lot going on right now, and you really need to get out of that. So just know everything comes in a wave sometimes, and that does not determine, the overall dynamic of your relationship, having those moments. The last question that I want to ask you all before we get off of here is, what piece of advice do you have for anybody that has not found the one yet?
My main piece of advice is don't look. Like, I don't know how many, I lose stuff a lot. I lose stuff all the time because I'm very absent-minded in my body. My mind moves faster than my body. But I find that I find things when I'm not looking for them. Like, oh, there was the remote. I was looking for that. Come
on, this is a word. Come on.
So I've never been in a position, never went looking for it. And when I did, it usually didn't turn out good or anything. So if it just comes, it comes. Take that time to work on yourself and to be okay with being alone. Because if you're not okay with being by yourself, there's no way you're going to be okay with being with somebody else. Like if you can't, I don't depend on her for my happiness. She enhances it. She enhances everything in my life, but she's not what I depend on to be happy. Now, if I have a bad day, I definitely am depending on seeing her face and it being good. But if I have a bad day and she has a bad day too, then what? We gotta look at Coco and we gotta look at the dog and see what see what she can do. See if she can do some tricks or something to cheer us up. But I definitely would just say be okay with being by yourself. Live by yourself. Take the time to get to know you as a person. Know that you're probably not going to find that person until you might be 30-ish. The 30s is the moment I feel like most people start to really know themselves. If you want to put a time limit on, because I know a lot of people put time limits on. I'm gonna graduate college at 21. I'm gonna be married.
They to take those off. Like I had a conversation about that. Like, stop putting age limits on things that you accomplish in life, because you will be.
That is ridiculous. I could never handle, like whoever said timing is everything. I couldn't have handled this relationship 10 years ago, 7 years ago. I'm not the same person. Looking back at who I was and the stuff I did and just my thought process and is completely different. So don't put a time limit on anything. Just let stuff flow. I think Toni Braxton said it best. Just let it flow.
Love us some Toni. Yeah, what about you? I mean, that's hard to follow up. I'm just saying. So go ahead.
It is. Well, what I can say, because I did not find the answer to that being in this relationship, right? Just being, oh, I know all the answers to singledom. Let me tell you the ways. Here's the prayer that I had. This is
right.
That's not what happened. But what I do know what happened is similar to what you were saying, is knowing yourself. And so making sure that you have worked on you, because it's important. What are you bringing to the table, right? A lot of folks like, he needs to have a master's degree.
You had a list.
He needs to have a credit score of this. Did I interrupt you?
I'm sorry, but you had a
list. That's the thing. There was a list, right? But
you gotta have standards.
Taking that away it was more of, okay, have I worked on me to know that I'm bringing my best self when I come to the relationship with Danielle, right? So working on those things about me, knowing that I'm good with who I am. I'm confident in what I do bring to the table, what I bring to this relationship, and having those same expectations. I think I always wanted to find someone that helped me be better, but I want to make sure that I'm able to do the same in return for Danielle. So I would say, work on you and making sure that this person that is trying to woo you and date you is meeting your needs. Because we forget about that when we, previous relationships, I was just trying to please others, or making sure, I got to have that relationship. I got to keep this relationship. What can I do to keep it? No, that's not going to work. You have to make sure that you are working on yourself and that you are being the best person that you can be for the relationship.
Oh, and go to therapy.
Oh yeah, therapy. As much as you need to.
No, I think that's absolutely great, especially with the whole, being mindful bring to the table piece, because so often you hear people, they want someone else to provide a lifestyle for them that they are unable to provide for themselves. I think that is unfair to say that the person that I'm with, you need to spend, $40,000 on, with the day and age that we live in, with society showing what it is for these extravagant birthdays that celebrities are having. Their spouses or their girlfriend or boyfriend are buying them Birkin bags. That was a big to do on the internet, was Birkin bags, nail bags. I would never expect someone to purchase me something that I could not afford to purchase for myself.
Right.
I would never expect someone to treat me a certain way that I don't even carry myself in that fashion. So you have to first be able to put it out there. These are my standards. This is what I bring to the table and what I am willing to give you. And I want the same in return. And
Yes.
so it's one thing to have this superficial list of, you got to be this tall, this color, this. But having the same morals and having the same desires for your future family and the things that you want to grow to, that's what I think sometimes people get lost in. And because we live in the day and age of course, hashtag relationship goals. Everything is a goal. That one little picture is just making people lose their minds on social media. But I think that it's great that the two of you met and came together and were able to make this work.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thanks.
I'm happy for y'all.
Oh, man.
Well, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Mrs. and Mrs. Davis, thank you so much for joining me this week on Midweek Matrimony. This, for anybody that tuned in late, this segment will be up on our Instagram page, our YouTube, and our Facebook within the next 45 minutes. So you are welcome to check it out, to replay the entire thing from the beginning. Thank you everyone for tuning in and with your comments. And again, thank the two of you for joining me.
Thank you, Jennifer. This is great. This is fun.
Okay. Have a great night, and I'll see everybody next week, same time. We have another couple that's going to share their love story.
All right. Bye.
Bye.